I go for that rock and roll music any old way.
This is Katie with Vintage and Vinyl. I'll be spinning some rockin' 50s records every week here on my channel, as well as sharing some cool Coca-Cola collectibles and other neat vintage finds. Stay tuned. Hey guys, this is Katie with Vintage and Vinyl, back with another great video for you today. In this video, we are talking all things EDC. Now you're probably sitting there wondering, what the heck is EDC? I've never heard of it. Well, EDC stands for Everyday Carry, and it's usually used in the sense of people that do extreme outdoor things, or maybe they are a survivalist, or someone that uses those kinds of applications. Louie, can you be quiet? My dog is barking like crazy. It is sprinkler time here in the household, and our apartment complex every night puts out the sprinklers, and they go off, and my dog goes absolutely bananas. I don't know why, but she is making her appearance in this video and saying hello to all of you all. So back to EDC. What I mean is that a lot of people use that term in the sense of someone being a survivalist or an outdoorsy person. But actually, I've noticed a lot of people here on YouTube have been using it just to show what they carry every day. Things that if they left the house without them, they would be totally lost and up a creek. So I am going to show you my EDC today. I have a lot of great items, and I figured we would do this vintage style. So these are things that I use when I'm out at the antique stores, thrift stores, and architectural salvage yards. And I love, love, love these things. Now I'm going to talk about some brands as I go along. And please know I am not sponsored by any of these companies. I just feel that their products are really well made and that they work for me. So I will try to link what I can down below in the description box if you are interested in any of these things that I have. So let's go ahead and see what's in my bag. So if you know me, you know I'm not a purse person. I never have been. I'm just not a big fan of purses. I don't know why. They're just not my thing. But I did do some research online because I needed obviously something to corral all these items into, since my pockets just simply aren't big enough. And I found this great dock kit by Tumi. Now Tumi is a rather expensive brand. They do make high-end luggage, but I will say that their stuff is phenomenal. It is so well made, and I really do believe that you get what you pay for. My friend always says that cheap is expensive because you have to keep rebuying things over and over and over again. And if you had just spent that money up front, you would be better off in the long run. So I have collected a few Tumi things that have just lasted, and they are so well made. Now I never buy anything retail because I think that that's just insane. So all of these things have come secondhand, all my Tumi things anyway. And I got this great Tumi bag for $20 on eBay. So it was a super steal because I'm sure this would have been $100 and $150 in the store. But I love, love, love this bag. It's so functional. I love the sturdy handle because I can clip my keys right onto this and just go. I have lost my keys in shopping carts before because I'd set them down and then I grab my stuff and I walk out and I'm like, oh, I can't get into my car. So I've really had to make sure that I created a system where I would clip my keys onto something so that I can't ever lose them again. And so that's why I really like this handle. It also has some great compartments inside for organizing smaller things. So it is compartmentalized there with little sections. And then the best thing is that this bigger section is waterproof. So it's really great for Florida when it's raining and you don't want your phone or other technology to get wet. It is absolutely perfect for that. And then it has this great little bonus pocket in the front. So let me show you what's inside. Now some of these things are very practical and some of them are a little bit frivolous and people might laugh, but that is okay. The first thing is very practical, and this is an Anchor power brick. And I love these things. I keep them around in my house for hurricane season in case for some reason the power went out. I always carry one with me. They're great portable chargers. It's probably one of the best ones I've ever used. They really do hold their charge, and they're just nice and portable and great. And I never like to be without a phone battery. It's not that I'm addicted to my phone or that I can't live without social media. It's just that I feel safe when I'm out, especially by myself, and I have my phone on me in case of some sort of emergency, like my car broke down or I needed to get a hold of someone, or my grandparents or somebody like that needed me. I just think that having a phone in these times that we live in is oh so important, and you never want to be without charge. So I love my Anchor power brick, as I say. I'm sure they're called something else. The next thing is sort of an item that's a little bit luxurious probably, and most people are thinking, why the heck do you carry this? But it's a box that I got for Christmas from my grandparents with my name on it, and then on the inside I have a deck of playing cards. Now, I know that sounds a little bit funny to carry playing cards around, but they have come in so handy. I have sat more times in the local coffee shop and played solitaire while enjoying a nice cappuccino and just really taking time to chill out and just get back to the basics. And I love cards. My grandparents, my mom, my dad and I, we've played lots of cards in our family over the years, and they're really, really fun to have. And this is great too when you're waiting somewhere. I've played Kings in the Corner in the DMV with my best friend before while we were waiting to get our licenses renewed. So, I mean, deck of cards, super handy, very classic, can't go wrong with it. I like to rotate out my cards too, so right now I have a deck of Starbucks playing cards because I do love my Starbucks, and these are really fun. They have different colors on the inside, but the cards that I usually have in there are a set of cards from Misty over at Thrifter Junker Vintage Hunter. I bought a lot of Delta playing cards from the 70s, and they're red. They're really cool. Delta Airlines, neat piece of advertising, and so I usually have those, but these are what I have in there right now, are these Starbucks cards. So it's just fun to carry that around, and it's very useful too. Now, the next thing is something that I really can't live without, and I use this all the time. I mean, even in my house, I always tell people if I got stuck on the island and I could only bring one thing, this is what I would bring. It is my Trusty Swiss Army knife. Now, this is their largest or second to largest model that they make, and I use this thing constantly. I'm a woodworker. I always need small tools, and it's really handy in the architectural salvage yard to have something like this, because there's so many times where I've had an old wheel that I wanted to buy, and I know it needed to fit on a certain type of mount, but I couldn't get the bolt that was on the wheel off. So I've actually used my pair of pliers before. These are just flat nose pliers, but they have nice teeth, so they'll really work well to grip a bolt in a pinch. It has wire strippers. The other thing that I've used a ton is my magnifying glass. When you're in a store, like an antique shop, and there's a mark on the bottom of something and you're trying to read it and it's really tiny, this is helpful. Or even the Coca-Cola trays, if you want to look for some of those marks that Vinny talked about in the live interview he did with Trusty. These magnifying glasses really come in handy. So I love that. I also love the fact that this has a nice variety of tools. Like you can change the bits on here with different screwdriver heads. So this is a flat head that I have on here now, but it even does star and hex bits, which is great. I mean, this thing is just awesome. And of course, you can't go without a knife. Everybody needs a knife for something at one point, or even just a really handy pair of scissors. So, I mean, you can't go wrong. Just classic, great tool. Really, really glad to have it. Now, the next thing that I always carry is a pair of headphones. And these are Bob Marley headphones. I think they're like 20 bucks. I got them at Target years ago, but they're really good quality. I like that the tips are red. You're gonna notice a theme here. Everything is red because I love the color red. Don't know why, always have. I mean, you can see this is red, the earbuds are red, the scales on my Swiss Army knife, including the little lanyard thing, is red. I mean, I love red. Anyway, so these headphones are absolutely a necessity for me because if I'm waiting and I don't want to play cards, I can always listen to some great YouTube content or vintage music. So I like to keep the headphones bundled up in here, especially because iPhone now makes everybody use the stupid dongle. Now I know the reason iPhone did it, or Apple did it really, was just so that they could have more space for other components that made the phone better, but these dongles are the bane of my existence. I have lost more of these than I have probably lost anything else in my life, and if you know me, I don't lose a lot of things. I mean, I've lost my keys or left them before, I will admit that, but I really am careful with my stuff, and these things are just so small, they just get lost. So that's one of the reasons I love this little leather case. Now, I got this a few years ago in Restoration Hardware's catalog. I think it was in their $10 and under section, so it wasn't very expensive. It's not the typical, you know, $2,000, $3,000 Restoration Hardware item, but it's really nice and compact, and I love the leather, but it does keep that dongle secure inside so it doesn't go missing. So I love my headphones. The other thing I have is a black light flashlight, and this is new to me, but I'm excited to add it to my everyday carry, and it's just great for checking uranium glass pieces. So you need one of these, and it's perfect to just carry. It's nice and small, and when you're in the antique stores and you want to check to see if something is uranium glass, you have your flashlight at the ready. Speaking of flashlights, the other thing that I have, oh, I must have taken it out. I did. Shame on me. Well, I usually carry a Maglight. Now, if you know anything about Maglights, they are the best flashlights in the world. I have been using them for years because my dad always used them. We used to go hunting, camping, fishing, and Dad had a bunch of them in the back of his truck, and they are great. I just think they are the best flashlights in the world. One thing that's nice about them is they make a little 3-inch size, which apparently I must have taken out to use for something, and now see, I don't have it when I need it. But it's better than the iPhone Lite, because the iPhone Lite has such a wide spread that it's not really good for small tasks or things that are pinpointy, you know, when you need that pinpointed light. So I really like to use the Maglight when I'm looking in a vase or something that's really dark and I want to check for chips or cracks. That Maglight's really helpful, and it's too bad I don't have it here. The next thing is a tape measure, and this thing is so handy for measuring furniture, bowl sizes, you name it. I've used it at various antique stores, lumber yards, and of course my favorite, the architectural salvage yards. But I've had some weird looks with this tape measure, so I got to tell you a story. I was at a concert one day downtown, and I usually check my bag, make sure I don't have any tools or something that can't go along. Like I always take my Swiss Army knife out because that's a little bit too expensive to lose. So I'm very protective of it, and I always take it out. But this I didn't take out. And the lady was digging through my bag to do the security check, and she pulled this out. And she's like, "What is this?" You know, because it is kind of weird looking. And she's like, "Oh, it's a tape measure." And she's like, "Well, why do you have a tape measure?" And I said, she goes, "Well, are you an interior decorator?" And I'm like, "No," I said, "I do woodworking, and you know, I always have this. I can't live without it." And the lady just looked so confused. It was the funniest thing. I guess she had never ever seen anyone that carried around a tape measure, which you would think, I guess, maybe people do. Maybe I'm the only one. I don't know. Let me know in the comments below if you do too. But I love my little tape measure. And what I like about it is it comes in a 9-foot size. You don't see these little guys very often in 9 feet. They're always like 4 feet or 6 feet, which is not all that helpful when you need a little bit longer tape. So I like this, and I like that it has a clip, because as I mentioned, I have these small pockets inside, and I can just clip it on and have it at the ready. So I really like this little DeWalt tape measure. It's just great. Next thing that I carry is this little pouch here, and it has a variety of items in it. And one of them is this nifty little fan. Now, in Florida, it gets super hot, and sometimes you're just outside at a concert or an event, which they do have a lot outside, and you're just sweating to death. There's no air ventilation at all. The humidity is really high. Some days, guys, it gets up to like 98 degrees here, plus humidity. Oh, I'm telling you, sometimes it's horrible. But I love this little fan. I got this free, and my mom gave it to me. She had gotten it as like a promotional thing at some sort of event. And you plug it into your phone, and it spins. It actually is like a little fan. And I thought that this would be very gimmicky and not work, but let me tell you, this little guy packs a punch. And it is so handy when you're sitting outside and you're just dying to have this little fan. It is a lifesaver, so I carry that. And then I have an old-fashioned iPhone power brick, just in case my battery pack dies. I just can't be without a charge on my phone, so I love my old school brick. And as you can probably see here, I'm a label freak. I put my name, my name and my number on it in case I were to lose it. I just, I love my label maker too. And the other thing that I carry in this little pouch is this splitter. Now what's nice about this is, if you know iPhone, you know they took away the headphone jack, so you can't charge your phone and listen to YouTube or music at the same time. So what I did was I went online and got this third-party little, I guess you could call it like a dongle too, but you plug it into your iPhone, and then it's basically allows you to do two things at once. So you can charge your phone and listen to music or YouTube, which is really, really great. And I love this case because it has webbing inside, so I can customize how things are organized, and this just fits so perfectly on the inside, along with all my little small items. And the other thing that I carry, and most people are probably wondering what this is when they look at it, but it's a space pen, and there's a neat story to this that's very special to me. I got this for my grandfather when I was just a kid. It was a birthday gift. I remember being in the office store picking this out with my mom to send to him all the way in Missouri. And he's an electrical engineer, so he always had pens and tape measures and stuff in his pocket. Never was without one. And he loves the color red, which that's what we have in common. I mean, one of the things we have in common, we have a lot, but red is his favorite color, as is mine. So I picked this little pen out for him, and it's a space pen, so it writes like in rain. It's super durable. And all growing up, he loved this pen so much that he would get ink for it, and when it would run out, he would buy more ink. And it was hard to find the ink, apparently, for this pen, but he would stockpile the ink just because he loved this pen so much. And now I have the pen, and he saved it all those years, which I think is really special. And I love this little pen. It is so handy when you need to sign the back of a check, or just do anything where you want your own pen, and it connects to be a full-size pen. So I love this. Now my Swiss Army knife does have a pen, and there is a little hack where you can make the pen from the little stick pen like this into a full-size pen. So on the back of the Swiss Army knife, there's what they call a hook. Now, no one really knows what this is for. I think it's a partial hook, because back in the day you could attach something to it and carry it like this, but most people are still, the jury's still out on that. But what I found is if you take the pin and you put it in the slot, once you open the little hook here, and then close the hook back, now you have a full-size pin for your Swiss Army knife. So I always have a pin, but now that I have the space pin, it's just much easier, and I do really love the story and connection to this little guy, so he's very, very special. Now, one of the last things that I carry is, of course, my wallet. Now, I am not a big fan of thick, fat wallets, so I am not wanting to be George Costanza at all. If you love Seinfeld, you know what I'm talking about. And the other thing that I carry is a book of stamps. Now, a lot of you guys are probably wondering why, but whenever I'm out and about, especially if I'm hitting some antique stores, there's a lot of post offices nearby those places, and I usually am driving by and I think, oh, I have a letter or a bill or something I need to mail. And of course I never have a stamp, so I thought, why don't I just start carrying stamps in case I need them? And I've used them, they're really handy. So if you don't carry stamps, I recommend it. They don't take up any space, they're super lightweight, and they're just handy to have. And probably, let's see, I'm checking my bag here, but the very last thing that I carry is this little keychain looking thing. And there's a guy at the, what is it called? It's a market, it's like a crafts market that comes every year. Christmas Made in the South, that's what it is. And they have all these vendors that make homemade things. There's even some people that sell vintage there. It's just a really neat thing that I enjoy going to every year. And the same guy has been back like, I don't know, 5 years in a row. And his name is Edgest, and he makes little leather products. And they're not very expensive, but he spends a lot of time handcrafting these. And this one is a chapstick holder, and when I saw it, I thought it was the neatest little thing. And I always use chapstick. My lips are super dry, and so I love being able to store the chapstick in this little case. And it's so handy. Now, they don't have this in red yet, but maybe this year when I go back, they'll have it in red, so I can have everything color coordinating. But the blue's nice too. And he did a really good job, so I love having that. If I can find any information on him, I will link that down below. Okay guys, so I had to show you my Maglight because I just couldn't not show it. This thing is just amazing. Of course it's red. And it has just a great little spotlight. It's perfect for small jobs. It's very lightweight. And I just love this little guy. Now, of course, you know, they do make bigger Maglights. They have the big cop Maglights that are like really long and hefty. But I'll tell you, they are great flashlights because this guy has been through the wash on more than one occasion and has survived. I believe they're waterproof or water resistant, but still, great flashlight, really compact, perfect for your keychain or your bag. You gotta have one of these. I just think they're so handy. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video today. Please leave a comment down below. What is in your EDC? What you carry every day? I'm so interested to find out and to get to know you guys a little bit better. I hope you learned some more about me as well. And I hope you're having a great week. Please stay in, stay safe, and binge YouTube.
Just let me hear some of that rock and roll music.